YouTube is a scary place, and normally they have a 3 strikes you're out system, but sometimes they have a no strikes, we're just going to delete your channel and not even tell you about it system. Yeah, this was kind of an issue back in 2018. I mean, Jay Schlatt had his channel deleted with no warning or anything, and no strikes. I actually, believe it or not, had my channel completely terminated for 12 hours, no strikes, no information, and eventually it just came back, and they said whoops. None of my content was breaking terms of service back then. It's not breaking terms of service now. But I thought that, it has been a long time since anything like that has happened. Maybe they fixed the bug. But let me just say no. In 2022, YouTube is still striking channels, or not striking channels, deleting channels without any warning. No strikes, no nothing, and sometimes no communication. I would just like to make it very clear right now that my channel currently has no strikes. My channel also has only been demonetized like twice out of the 200 videos I've released in the last couple months. So my channel is in very good standings. I've not broken any terms of service. I read that stuff very closely. But the reason for making this video is that YouTube doesn't really seem to care about that sometimes. And there was recently a situation with this channel that reacts to Reddit stuff called MXR Plays, and I was inspired to make this video because of the video Oomphaville made. So I'll be linking that video and related videos in the description. Oomphaville went into much better detail about the MXR plays. I'm going to talk about this bug a little bit more broadly. I'm calling this a bug, but this might not be a bug. This might just be a way that YouTube goes about things. But I just want to call it a bug to give them the benefit of the doubt. What exactly am I talking about? What I'm talking about is on YouTube, it's normally a system where you get 3 strikes, and eventually those strikes will go away, but if you get more than 3 strikes in a row within a certain period of time, your channel's deleted. However, right, you're given a lot of heads up. When you're given a strike, it's not just to punish your channel, it's also to, help enforce the rules. It's also to help remind you of what content is acceptable, what content is not acceptable. Their system is very flawed, but at least the 3 strikes system, you have a chance to understand what you did wrong and correct yourself. So I kind of just rushed into this a little bit, so I'll give some context. MXR Plays is a YouTube channel that reacts to Reddit, and recently, a couple days ago, they got their channel completely removed. No strikes, no nothing, no real warning, no YouTube system working as it should. They basically just woke up one day and found their channel deleted. And thankfully, right, they got it back by now, and YouTube did say, hey, this is our bad, we made a mistake. But one thing you have to realize is, they had a lot of people vouching for them. They had a lot of people going on Twitter, a lot of people saying, hey, we need to look at that. They had a lot of YouTubers contacting their YouTube reps. I'm pretty sure after you hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube, you're given a dedicated YouTube rep, so they probably contacted them. And the problem is, right, this isn't a new thing. And I mean, this should never happen at all, but this is something that happened a long time ago, and even something that happened to me back in the day. And while my channel is in no immediate risk of termination, this just kind of reminds me of how scary YouTube as a website is and how you can just disappear one day. And the thing is, I wouldn't have any form of contact to you guys if my channel just disappeared one day. So in the description, one of the first links will be a Discord server. Just go ahead and join that, as that can't be terminated by Google, or at least I don't think it can. Just to make sure that I always have an ability to stay in contact with you guys. First link in the description. Go ahead and join that. I guess is what I want to say is just, there's been a history of YouTube deleting channels without any recognition, without any strikes, without anything like that. And it's been going on for a very long time. I mentioned it briefly in the beginning of the video, but Jay Schlatt, before he became very popular, I think back when he only had around 5 or 10,000 subscribers, one day YouTube just deleted his channel. He has made a video about it if you want to get a little bit more detail, but this was actually around the time when I was doing YouTube. I had around 10, 15, 20,000 subscribers. I wasn't super active back in the day. This was 2018. I actually tried to do commentary videos way back in the day. I left one up on my channel where it's where is Leafy, or I found Leafy or something. It was really terrible, right? My videos back then were even worse than they are now. But somehow, right, some people did watch them. And I remember the feeling of checking my YouTube studio one day, and it was I was getting an error message, and I got this kind of sinking feeling in my stomach, right? And when I went to my channel, yeah, it had the little kind of trashed icon, this YouTube channel has been deleted. And it was the scariest thing ever. And I remember getting on call with one of my friends at the time. Shout out Andy. I don't know if I don't think he watches my videos anymore, but I haven't talked to that guy in a while. But yeah, shout out Andy. and Isaiah, I was on a call with them for like 6 hours at that time. And it was one of the scariest experiences. And I remember contacting this guy who used to work for Mr. Beast. And I was incredibly lucky that I even had this guy's contact. And he told me that it should probably be resolved within like 12 hours. And yeah, sure enough, I wake up the next day and my channel's back. And no sorry, no like our fault, no communication. They're just like, oh yeah, we brought it back. Sorry for just terrorizing you for like, I don't know, 12 hours. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there's a channel called Fainted. He reads like funny posts or whatever, kind of commentary-esque, but not really. He's in the same community and kind of similar genre. In 2019, his channel was also deleted. No strikes, no nothing. At the end of the day, right, with any platform that relies on user-generated content, YouTube would be nothing without, the people who make the videos on it. Netflix is nothing without the content that they purchase or they pay people to make, right? And this is a little bit more controversial, but, Leafy is here. You guys can think that he broke terms of service. You can think that he didn't. I'm not going to argue that his content didn't break terms of service at the time, but I'm going to argue that the way he was terminated is something that we shouldn't allow. He received 0 strikes. He was just deleted. And while you could say that, oh, well, he probably just received 3 strikes in a row. No, 0 strikes. The channel was just deleted. Look, if Leafy received 3 channel strikes and his channel was terminated and he broke terms of service, fair enough. But the fact that his channel was just outright deleted, I don't think we should stand by that. And at the end of the day, right, if you look at MXR Plays, they made a video updating everyone on the situation when they got their channel back, and Team YouTube actually did reach out to them via Twitter DMs, and it was a real person reaching out, and the message was actually quite nice, and they get props for that. But just the fact that after all these years, after I had to go through it, after Schlatt had to go through it, the fact that channels are just being terminated with 0 strikes is still happening. That's just like a little concerning. The thing is, right, people like me, people like MXR Plays, people like Fainted, Schlatt, Schlatt not at the time, and I didn't have this at the time, but like, I have a decent, subscriber count. I have people that I know in the industry now. I will probably be okay if I'm falsely deleted, right? I will be terrified. It'll be an awful experience, but this thing doesn't affect me as much as it affects the, the person who's been grinding for a year, who just hit like 5,000 subscribers, who has no real like following. I mean, 5,000 is very good, right? But no real like huge following, no connections at YouTube, and YouTube isn't going to hear anything about it because they don't have a following. Their channel just gets deleted and no one is the wiser, right? That's the person who's going to suffer from this. That's about all I wanted to say. If for some reason you're new, consider subscribing. And also, if you got nothing better to do, there's some videos on screen, some videos in the recommended. I make a lot of story videos. And I would very much appreciate it if you did click on one of those and watch a video or two. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.